Man wanted to be on time for a Christmas date with the girl he liked, so he showed up at the meeting spot an hour early. Jack thought he would be as happy as all the couples around him. But no matter how long he waited, she never showed up. Even 2 years later, Jack still didn't know why. That day left him with a deep scar. Now he'd rather curl up every night in his cramped stargazing cabinet than sleep in a bed. Because of that, his sister Luna struggled every morning to get him out of bed. On his way to school one day, Jack's friend John teased him about Luna, but Jack got angry, saying he had no friend like that. John only needed one comeback to cure Jack's attitude. Then he pulled out a brand new magazine, saying he had wanted to show his best friend. Hearing that, Jack quickly changed his tune, claiming he was John's best friend after all. On their way to school, they ran into Jenny, a girl who was famous on campus. Staring at her beautiful face, John couldn't help but say she looked like a work of art. Not only was she gorgeous, but she also had a wonderful personality. That's why Jenny was so popular in school. Later in class, the homeroom teacher announced there would be a design contest. Each class had to choose an executive committee member to help run the event, but no one in their class wanted the job. That's when Luna, the class president, volunteered to take it on. Jack noticed she always took on the jobs no one else wanted. He couldn't help but admire her for that. While he was staring at her back in a daze, he didn't expect her to suddenly look back at him. At lunch, Jack, John, and Annie decided whoever lost rock paper scissors would have to buy bread for everyone. Jack ended up being the unlucky one. The store was just as crowded as he thought it would be, but then he spotted a younger student in line. From the way they handled things, he knew they were only a freshman. Buying bread in that chaos was a skill you had to learn. So as an upperclassman, Jack decided to be kind for once. He grabbed an extra loaf and handed it to the student. That scene was accidentally witnessed by Jenny as she happened to walk by. On his way back to class, Jack stepped on a plastic bag and fell. As he scrambled to pick up the bread, Jenny suddenly appeared in front of him. She kindly picked one up and handed it to him. Then she boldly cupped his face and told him his eyes were beautiful. She even praised him for helping a younger student with the bread. That was their very first encounter. Jack stood frozen on the spot, still lost in the scent she left behind as she walked past. It took Ellie calling him repeatedly to snap him back to reality. By the time he returned to the classroom, John and Annie were starving, complaining that if he'd come any later they might have starved to death. After school, Jack didn't see John anywhere. He immediately guessed that John must be hiding in the library, so he rushed over. But on his way around a corner, he accidentally bumped into Jenny. To his surprise, she said it was perfect timing. Then she asked Jack to help her carry books. As they chatted along the way, Jenny worried she might be keeping him from finding his friend, but Jack quickly denied it. Soon they ran into Jenny's friend Lena, and Jack handed all the borrowed books to her. That's when Jenny realized she hadn't even asked his name. Jack introduced himself properly, marking their second encounter. Jenny then announced they were now officially friends, but Lena cut in, saying Jenny didn't even know his name before. How could she shamelessly ask him for help? Jenny gave the perfect reply. She said that even though she hadn't known his name, she trusted that she could rely on him, because she knew Jack was a good person. Jack was left stunned, not even realizing when Jenny had left. Only when John came out of the library did Jack snap out of it. John rushed over, excited to share the books he had borrowed, but no matter what he said, Jack didn't respond at all.